Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Faith. Her name alone invokes awe. Faith, a set of principles or beliefs upon which you're willing to devote your life. The Dark Slayer. A lethal combination of beauty, power, and death. For years and years, or to be more accurate, months, Faith fought on the side of good, terrorizing the evil community. But like so many tragic heroes, Faith was seduced by the lure of the dark side. She wrapped evil around her like a large, evil Mexican serape. She became a cold-blooded killer. Nobody was immune to her trail of destruction, not friends, not family, not even the most pacifist and logical of races.
What the hell are you talking about? I thought Faith killed a volcanologist.
Silly. Amanda. Why would Faith kill a person who studies volcans?
My goodness, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just 2 boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance Tucker.
Oh, it's a last name episode. You know it's a big one if it's a last name episode, everybody. Today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 18, titled Dirty Girls, directed by Michael Gershman. Written by Drew Goddard. Original air date, April 15th, 2003, to an audience of 3.31 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, we got a lot of shout-outs. Shout-outs from Sloppy Joe from Apple Podcasts. We want to shout out our homie in Great Britain, Diablo79. We got him hooked on Peachy Keen Monster. You're very welcome. And we also need to shout out Madlaw23. Madlaw23. Also shouting out Mimosa Slayer again. I'm not sure who, but they are feeling the sadness because we're towards the end, but they made some friends along the way. We also have a shout out from Spotify for Christina from Estonia. Thank you so much, Christina from Estonia. And then we also have another Spotify shout out for Sophie in Germany. Sophie is learning English through our podcast. I feel so terrible now. I did not think that would ever be a possibility. A possibility. We're helping her learn English. Jesus, what a disaster. But thank you so much, Sophie. We really appreciate it. If you want to get your own shout out, Apple Podcasts 5-star rating review, Spotify 5-star rating, take a screenshot of it, send it in to us, and we will shout you out.
Sloppy
Man, we were dried
Joe.
up. We were dried up on the shout outs for a couple weeks, and then everybody came in for Dirty Girls.
Yep, that's how it works.
They knew it was going to be a Vance Tucker last name episode. That's why.
And I told Joe off air before, I was like, I have some interesting Estonia facts. Estonia? Yeah, I've been doing a little remote work with someone in Estonia.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So that's been going well.
Fun.
So I was like, I saw this shout out. I was like, oh, wow, look at that. Not related to the person. Not related to the person that we're shouting out, but
Okay.
that's, You don't get it. You don't get a lot of that over here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the beauty of remote work, baby.
Beauty, yeah. And speaking of remote work, not exactly, not at all. We have a big, big announcement. Because we've been doing a slow rollout.
Been doing a slow rollout.
Slow rollout of what we're going to do next. And before we even watch this episode, we decided this is a good time to announce something that we're going to do. And it's very apropos. Mm-hmm. So our plan is we're going to do a little mini series watch before we go to our next big show that we're going to do. A next big series. Because we still have another season of Angel to do. So we kind of want to stay in the Buffyverse. Kind of stay in the Whedon realm as it is. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be doing Firefly.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, and we just we turned this episode on and our boy Nathan Fillion it's popping in. So it's like it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, we were texting about I had watched the episode already and Vance texted me like, hey, should we announce that we're doing Firefly next? And I was like, did you watch the episode already? He was like, no. And I was like, it would be perfect to announce that we're doing Firefly.
Yeah. So I was just like, face back, bitches. So we got to make an announcement. People are coming in. Yep. The shout outs are rolling in. It's perfect time for that.
Hell yeah. So stay tuned. I think we're going to have it all on the same channel.
All on the same channel.
So it's not like you're going to need to resubscribe. We'll have the Discord and everything. Everything will be remaining the same.
And the plan is we're going to do our bonus episodes. We're going to do some rewatches, maybe some other stuff. And then we're also going to do Firefly. So that's what you have to look forward to.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I've never seen it. I've heard nothing but good things.
I've seen the movie a long time ago. Don't remember a lot about it. And I have never seen Firefly itself. And after this episode, I'm really excited to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Do we have any other announcements? Join our Discord, Amazon wishlist. We fucking patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We're doing Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. Those are all the up top announcements, I think. Should we get cracking?
I do have a pre-show random thought in my note from last episode. Who was Principal Wood's dad?
Doesn't matter.
It's crazy that we didn't even think to ask that.
Does not matter.
We were just like, oh, my mom's a Slayer. And it was like, oh, that's crazy. Who's the dad?
Yeah. I guess his dad got killed by a vampire too, mate. But he doesn't give a fuck about his dad being killed.
Well, we don't say he doesn't mention his dad. This show has daddy issues all over the place.
Absolutely.
But what popular media doesn't?
Yeah.
All of Marvel was one big daddy issue.
That is wild. I never even once thought about his dad.
Exactly. That's why I had the thought. I was like, wait, two parents? One's not even mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. But
yeah.
Well. I'm cracking open this Skittles C4. I'm giving it a go. You did not have rave reviews for it last week, but...
No, I said it tastes more like Nerds than Skittles.
Okay, yeah, that's true. What do you got?
I got the Sparkling Watermelon Burst from C4.
Beautiful. And before we forget this too, what were our predictions from last week?
We were absolutely going to forget it. It's too much stuff at the top. Okay. My prediction was that Giles leaves. And yours.
For good.
Yeah. This was the one we didn't want to predict because we knew that Faith was coming back and a lot of it was tied to that. And yours was Buffy gives Spike a talking to, reprimands him. So.
Yeah, I think we both missed that one.
We don't even need to talk about predictions on the Buffy show anymore.
I just took a sip of this Skittles, and you're absolutely right. It does taste more like Nerds.
Yep.
Like grape Nerds, specifically.
Yeah. I had those Nerds gummy clusters somewhat recently.
My God, I fucking love those, dude.
Oh, my God, I fucking love Oh, yeah, I fucking love those.
They were on the A tier in my candy tier list.
I haven't filled mine out. I will say that Skittles, I can't eat a lot of them. It's something like I can't do a whole bag of Skittles.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. They at a certain point they reach a sweet maximum point for me.
I can do a whole bag of Skittles like no problem, but Nerds gummy clusters I can't do because it starts to like cut my mouth.
Yeah.
But they're tasty. Nerds rope also. That's where it's fucking at, dude.
This watermelon one is interesting. It's pretty good. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah,
well, this episode opens up with what I will also deem quite possibly the longest recap.
Yep.
We've been getting, that just keeps getting topped. I'm going to go through it very briefly. We get a Faith recap, First Evil recap, Potential Slayers recap, Spike Have a Soul recap, Willow going to LA recap, and Principal Wood versus Spike recap. So we start the episode with a girl running through the woods. And she's being chased by 2 harbingers.
Mm-hmm.
And then a truck pulls up. And she's like, oh my God, please stop. Please help me. Somebody's chasing me. Help me. And the driver of the truck is Nathan Fillion. He is a priest. And he's like, come on in, please, come on. And then she gets in the car. They start driving away. And he's talking. He's like, I don't think girls should be out late in the woods like this. This is not a smart idea. What are you doing? And she's like, no, it's not my choice. Like, I didn't want to do this, but, I'm trying to get to Sunnydale. And he's worried that she's hanging out with some devil worshippers. I'm going to Sunnydale. Same here. I'm going to Sunnydale too. Hi, my name's Father Caleb. And her name is Shannon. And Caleb's like, why were them men there chasing you, Shannon? And he thinks it might be because she's a whore. Are you a whore, Shannon? And she's like, what? No.
I'm wearing a denim jacket.
Yeah. But he's like, well, you're one of them there dirty girls. I can just tell you're born dirty. And you're acting dirty, and you know what? I think that you're a dirty girl, and we got to purify you. And Shannon's like, this is fucking worse than being chased by those probably murderous guys. I'm going to hop on out of this car. And she tries to reach for the door handle, and the door handle's broken. And the priest, Father Caleb, is like, oh yeah, that door don't work too good there, sweetheart. And you know what? My boys back there, they were chasing you. I'm in cahoots with them. And she's like, oh no, I'm fucked. She tries to grab the wheel. Caleb shoves her back, grabs that lighter thing, puts it on a ring, and then puts the ring onto her neck and burns her neck. And he's like, oh, you're going to go down there. You're going to meet up with old Buffy the Vampire Slayer, ain't you? Well, I got a little message to deliver for that Slayer there. And he takes out a giant knife, one of those Harbinger knives, and he whispers in her ear. We don't hear what he says. And then he just fucking stabs Shannon, kicks the door open, kicks Shannon out of the car. She starts rolling around on the side of the road. He also mentions that somebody else has been following them too. And that car pulls over on the side of the road to attend to Shannon. And who's in that car but Willow and Faith? And Faith gets out of the car. Willow rushes over to the girl. Faith is like, well, I'm back in Sunnydale. Did you notice that her voice is like 100 times raspier than it ever was?
It is so raspy. I noticed that this episode, and I was like, is that always been the case?
She must have had like a cold or something, or went to a concert the night before and was screaming, because it is so raspy.
Yeah. I'll say this scene is one of the scarier scenes of the whole season involving the first evil.
Yeah.
Like, Gnarls was scary for sure. But that's a non-first related demon. But this guy is just such a threat. He's such a dangerous threat.
Yeah, the like overzealous priest, like calling people whores and dirty and like pure talking all that, like, we're going to wash the sin away from you type of shit. in the dark woods in a broken ass pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
That's freaky as fuck, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about Nathan Fillion's accent?
It's all right.
Didn't bother me. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely putting on the Southern affectation. That's just like what we, of course, is going to be a Southern priest guy with. Now, here's a question I thought about just before we started recording. And it's kind of for later in the episode, but I'll say it now. Who do you think hates women more, this guy or Warren?
Ooh. I don't know, because Warren, I think they're about equal, but Caleb is just more overt and outward with it. Warren tries to hide it. Warren's like, how come these fucking bitches don't like a nice guy like me? I'm a nice guy. How come these fucking bitches don't want to suck my dick? But Father Caleb is like, you're all whores and you're dirty. He'll just see a woman in like a burqa and be like, look at this whore.
I know. It's like, I want to almost give it to Priest Caleb. Just because everybody is. I think Warren is like, you have to slight him first. You have to like you have to like be like, oh, I don't want to buy you to buy me a drink. And then he's like, oh, you're a dirty whore, slut, gay.
See,
but I think this guy is just like, if he could just see a bunch of women standing around, be like, all of them.
Yeah. Warren is like, he wants to sleep with the women. I feel like a lot of it is just like he wants to have sex with the women and be like a playboy. But Father Caleb just hates women.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a nun in his convent is like, look at this whore.
I know. I took a vow of chastity.
You're a whore for Jesus then.
Your vows mean nothing.
What was the lighter on the ring thing? I've seen people do the lighter, like the thing that you pull out of the car.
Old cars had cigarette lighters that you push in and they get hot. So it heats
I know
up.
that.
So then he's heating up his metal ring.
Oh, right, because you have to stick the cigarette into the lighter thing. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a little stupid thought.
No, but the branding is weird because, I don't know. It's a lot of messaging.
I thought when he put it on his ring and then punched her in the neck with it, I thought that there was going to be like a brand on it, like a symbol or something on her neck.
It might be later when they take a picture of it, but it's like I couldn't tell anything from that. It just looked like a circle.
Yeah, it just looked like a burn from like one of those things.
But I'm sure it's going to come back and then they'll probably do some research next episode.
Yeah, I'm sure that Willow's going to look at the picture and be like, wait, look, there's a marking here.
I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but that digital camera that she took out was a classic throwback.
Oh, yeah, it was. Anyway, so after Willow and Faith pick up Shannon, we then go to Xander's apartment, and here we go. We're gonna get some Xander hate for this one.
It's a weird,
sure.
It's a weird way to follow up a scene with the priest calling people whores to then cut to the only other male character in the show besides like Andrew.
Yeah,
and have this happening. It's a bad decision. It's a bad decision. Just it could have happened any other episode.
Mm-hmm. But we go to Xander's apartment. Xander's in his bed and he's talking to some potential slayer. There's potential slayers all laying all around his apartment in the living room. He's in his bedroom with this one potential slayer. I forget her name.
I think he's still in the Sunnydale house. Like is that hallway?
No, they show the outside of his apartment building.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. But so yeah, he's in bed and this girl's talking to him. She's like, "I'm so scared. I'm
he
terrified.
Has to be. He's not in his apartment because the way the scene ends.
I am fairly well. I mean,
okay.
We'll go back. Right. This is what we got the corrections and omissions.
No, I'm
for,
just
baby.
saying. When you go through the description, we'll go.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So she's like, "Oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna die." Buffy keeps telling us that we're all gonna die. That's like what she says every single day now. That not all of us are gonna survive, and I'm scared because like I'm so young and I haven't been able to sleep the last couple of nights, and I don't know if I'm ready for action. And Xander's like, "You're totally ready. Buffy will totally have you up and ready for fighting. And she goes, but I haven't done so much in my life. Like, I'm so young. Like, I haven't even had a real boyfriend before. And then she starts to like creep her fingers up and like starts to, you know, kind of lean towards touching Xander. She's like, I've never even been with a man before. And then Xander's like, oh, you haven't been with a man before, huh? Well, that's interesting. And then another potential slayer pops up. And she's like, yeah, I've never been with a man before either. And I've never been with a girl and a man before. And I've never been with a girl in front of a man before. And Xander's like, we can make that all happen right now. We can do all that happening right now. And then they all start like kind of leaning in and kissing each other. And then Xander's bedroom door opens and there's a pillow fight happening with all the other potential slayers that are in the living room. And it's all like this sexy man dream of hot, sexy teenage girls. And then obviously it's a dream. Xander wakes up and it's Rona waking Xander up because some girl had a stomach flu and the toilet is broken and it's backed up and they need him to fix it. And he's like, okay, yeah, sure. Just give me a minute. I can't stand up right now. I got a leg cramp.
Isn't that the same room that he was having a fantasy in?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, so they're coming into his room in the house.
I could have fucking swore they showed the outside establishing shot of his apartment building.
They might have, but the inside of this house, all the girls showing up is the exact same framing of his fantasy. And that is Buffy's house that they're talking about.
So he has his own room in Buffy's house now?
I don't know, man. I don't know what the setup is over there.
And all these girls are just like on the floor piled up.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Dude. But I'm saying that's what I was saying. It cut from that to them complaining about the house. So he's at Buffy's house.
I mean, he could have a backed up toilet at his house.
The Slayers aren't there. All the potentials aren't at his place, though. It cuts in it's the same shot.
I'm looking forward to Discord proving me wrong because I could have swore that I saw an establishing shot of
you might have saw an establishing shot, but
I was like, oh shit, this makes sense. Like there's people spread out now.
But the fantasy is
we talked about that.
But the fantasy is he wakes up and at the same doorway, all of the potentials are there. Like, hey, dude.
All right.
Right? Like, I mean, you can't admit that part.
I'm not looking forward to the Xander debate channel either.
Well, this is a bad decision. He could have had this fantasy pre-sleeping with Anya or something. Like he's been around these girls forever and hasn't had this fantasy. And then after the dirty whore talk, we get this. It's a bad decision to do it this way. And it actually doesn't even actually add anything to the episode. It's the worst part.
It really doesn't.
So
it's just a quote unquote comedic bit.
Yeah. And Rachel Bilston is one of the girls on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, oh shit. The girl from the OC. What was her name? What was her name in the OC?
Never
was
watched
it
OC.
Summer Roberts?
I worked on a movie that she was in. What is it? Love New York or something.
I had the biggest crush on her when she was in the OC, man. I thought she was so hot. Her and that lady that we were talking about in Discord, Kristen Cruick from Smallville, Lana Lane, smoke shows. Anyway, next scene, we have Faith at the hospital with Willow. They're watching over that potential that got stabbed and kicked out of the car by Father Caleb. She's getting surgery. A bunch of doctors are surrounding her, and Faith is annoyed at Willow. She's like, so there's this fucking big evil thing that's going around killing all the Slayers, and nobody thought to give me a fucking heads up? And Willow was like, well, you were in jail.
I'm on Faith's side here. And
yeah,
not because she was in, like, I would be like, I wouldn't want to, she wouldn't be the first person I thought about. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't think about Faith, like, oh no, we got to save Faith. But in the flashback, they talk about, there's a line where Buffy says, oh, they're going to kill Faith and then me, and that'll be the end of the Slayers. Right?
Yeah.
So now you know that's a priority. You know that that's a concern. You verbalize it in the show. Why then would you not send a message to Faith? Because Faith dying is a problem, because that means there's one less. So you need to like
Faith
tell
dies,
her.
new Slayer born.
Yeah, but Buffy doesn't say it in a way like, okay, well, if Faith dies, then one of these people will be it and we'll be better off because we'll have two here. It's not like she's thinking that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Faith's got a point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Willow is like, you were in prison. We thought that you'd be safe in prison. Faith is like, bro, have you ever seen even like anything about prison?
You guys aren't even safe at Buffy's house. What?
Yeah. But then Faith is like, I was safe at prison, kinda, but until I was in a fight and a lady had a giant freaky knife that she was trying to fucking kill me with.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we got to talk to Buffy. We got to find Buffy. We got to talk to her. And Faith is like, all right, I'll go talk to her. And Willow's like, maybe not the best idea. And Faith's like, why not? You told her about the sitch, right? And Willow's like, I may have not. I thought that I was gonna ease Buffy into this whole thing.
Apparently Willow has told Buffy, though, at least that she has Faith and she's coming back with Faith. Between scenes, it seems like she told her that.
What? Really?
Yeah, she said he told her about the sit. She's like, yeah, but I wanted to ease her in. Like, she doesn't, in this scene, it's not as if she hasn't told Buffy anything. Because when we see it later.
I took it as.
No, she told.
She didn't tell Buffy anything.
No, because Buffy would have reacted completely different in the next scene. She knew that Faith was, and Spike knew too. So, yeah.
But yeah, Willow's like, should we ease Buffy into it? And then Faith's like, dude, it's gonna be fine. You stay here, I'll go find Buffy. And then so we cut to the graveyard.
We know Sunnydale is all graveyard. So how do you pick the right one? But yeah, whatever.
Vampire chasing a girl through a graveyard. We don't really see, it's all shaky cam. We don't see the girl really. We don't see the vampire. Girl trips and falls. Vampire knocks her out. It's Spike. And then Faith pulls Spike off of her. And then they start fighting. And Spike is like, oh, hello, you must be Faith. Hi, I'm Spike. And Faith's like, I know, we've met before. And Spike's like, I don't remember that at all. And Faith's like, oh yeah, trust me, we've met. And then they fight each other. And then they're both trying to convince each other that they're on the same side. Spike's like, no, I'm not trying to eat this girl. I'm on your side. And Faith's like, yeah, sure. I'm on the good side now. You're not on my side. They keep having a little tussle until Buffy comes and punches Faith, thus ending. Oh, well, hits Faith, and Faith looks at Buffy. I love this. And Faith is all confused. And she's like, why are you protecting vampires now? Wait, are you the bad Slayer now? Am I the good Slayer now?
That was a great moment.
And then Buffy is like, Faith, this is Spike. Spike's got a soul now. He's on our side. And then she's like, oh, so he's like Angel. And Spike's like, I am nothing like Angel. And Buffy is like, yeah, he's kind of like Angel. And they're like, so wait, why were you chasing that girl through the graveyard? That's like typical vampire shit. Girl wakes up, the girl's a vampire. And then the girl starts attacking Faith. Buffy and Spike just like go hands off here. Buffy's just standing cross-armed like, let's evaluate where Faith's at. Faith grabs Buffy's stake from her leg holster and she's like, mind if I use that? Dusts this vampire.
When has Buffy ever carried stakes in the leg holster?
Right? That's never been shown before.
No. I don't know why they didn't just have her reach behind Buffy, because Buffy always just takes the stake out of nowhere.
Yeah. Maybe that's why she always has to wear those giant coats. They have big pockets for those enormous stakes.
The fashion corner is going to be a wild one for this one. The fashion report corner is going to be wild for this one.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so Faith dusts this vampire. Spike is still hung up on how he's nothing like Angel, and Buffy's like, nice to have you back, Faith.
Yeah, he says Angel's dull and we have different coloring.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah. If you want to know more about Angel and what's going on over there, that somehow does not affect what's going on over here.
There's one line that they have that's like, oh yeah, it doesn't affect us because of this. There's one line that they have in that Angel.
Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. So Buffy takes Faith back to the Summers house. And Faith's like, memories. Just like old times, the old Summers house. And Buffy's like, well, everything in this house has been broken and replaced since you've last been here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not technically the same, but yeah, I get it. And Dawn stands up and Dawn's all cross-armed. She's like, what are you doing here? And I wrote, apparently Faith remembers Dawn. Faith's got the monk's memories instilled in her.
Oh yeah, everybody. I mean, everybody remembers Dawn. It's not even a debate. Like everybody got it.
Somebody brought it up on Discord about how amazing the monks are for creating life out of thin air. And yeah, that is amazing. I'm more hung up on they've created fake memories of this person in every human being alive. Like, life out of thin air, sure. We've all heard that story.
I mean, that's kind of life in general.
But the fact that they implanted full memories into people
that aren't like degrading. It's not Superstar level where it's like I can see between the cracks of this reality.
Yeah.
Except for it seemed like that was happening with Joyce, but it was really her brain. Her tumor thing. Or actually anybody that was like touched by Glory could kind of see that she was the key or something.
Didn't Buffy have that thing where she saw that Dawn was
she did a spell. She did that.
Oh, right.
So there's ways to do it, but it's pretty ironclad outside of that.
I wonder if they still did that spell, if it would affect, or, because Dawn isn't the key anymore.
Yeah.
She's just transitioned into being a full human.
I don't know. I do think that I don't know if they don't have the real estate now, but I really need the missing Dawn scene episodes. Like just I want to see past episodes with Dawn inserted in them to see how they were different now that Dawn exists. And I don't know why we didn't do that in season 6 or early this season. Like, I just need to see, like, okay, this is Bothered, Bewitched, and what is it? I would never get the title.
Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered.
Yeah, I just want to see her in that. Like, is she chasing after Xander now too? Is where is she during the Zeppo? Like, where is she doing a bunch of other episodes?
Dude, honestly,
the
like
party when Buffy comes back and she's having that like house party with the dead zombie people. I just want to see how those scenarios played out because Dawn was a part of all of them.
Yeah, no, and when Faith brings this up, like they have a history together. Like, how did they interact together? Like, what's their relationship? Because we just get that comment like, "Oh, good to see you here. You're tried to kill my sister," type of thing.
Yeah.
But like, what is their history together? Does Dawn know about that? Like,
yeah, where was Dawn when Angelus was trying to like get into the house, and it was right when Willow put that spell on, and Joyce was dropping all those oranges out front. Like, where was she when Darla bit Joyce? You know, like I just am so curious about all that. I know they can't do a bunch, but I wish they would have done a couple chosen scenes of that. And
I'm sure there's a novelization or comic book about it.
Yeah, that I'm never gonna search down. I refuse to read that out of principle.
Yeah.
That needed to be an episode. That needed to be a one-off episode of just random shots.
Yeah. Like they could have vignettes. Like they could do the episode like before one commercial break is her in the Halloween episode with Ethan Rayne.
Yeah.
Then the next one is, her in Gingerbread or something.
You would treat it like Restless. where you break it into the 4 acts, and you would just do one little bit, and they'd be all sitting around like, oh yeah, so Dawn was there. I remember that time when she did this. It's like a recap episode that they used to do on TV all the time, like the clip show.
Yeah. I just don't know how they had like an Andrew specific centered episode where he got his own little like fake flashbacks, but like Dawn has been so integral to this for like 3 seasons now.
Exactly.
And we didn't get that.
And this scene made me think of that. Because Faith, she's like, oh, you tried to kill my sister. I'm like, oh, what was that like?
Yeah. Well, then the other question that I was thinking about too with all of that is like, obviously Joyce was in the dark for the first couple seasons about Buffy being a Slayer. Like, when did Dawn find out that Buffy's a Slayer? And does she have memories of like Angel?
Yeah, she does. Angel knows her.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
But Buffy explains to Dawn and Giles that Faith is going to be staying with them. And Dawn's like, can't she fucking stay somewhere else? I don't want her around here. And everyone's all tense. And Buffy's like, no, she's going to stay with us. Don't worry about it. And then everyone's like,
I was going to bring this up later, but I think this is a good time to bring this up. Why is everyone more mad at Faith for trying to kill Buffy when Spike has tried to kill Buffy and other people in this house multiple times? Like, I get it on a story level, but you got a no-chip triggered Slayer killing vampire in the house, and then Faith shows up and they're like, oh God. Oh God. Her gravelly voice is going to kill us all.
Spike has tried to kill Buffy. Willow has tried to kill Buffy.
He's tried to kill people in this house this season.
Yep. Who else? Andrew's tried to kill Buffy. Who else we got in the house?
Has Giles tried to kill her? Giles kind of tried to kill her.
I'm trying to think. Did Giles try to kill her?
He took her power away from her. That's pretty betrayal of trust right there.
Yeah, he was hoping that she would win, but he kind of tried to kill her.
Yeah.
So wild, man.
Oh my God. Another little detour. Last episode you brought up, he didn't bring up the killing Dr. Intern Ben. And was it Joe Dean on Discord? Someone mentioned on Discord that was a deleted scene that at the graveyard he mentions killing Dr. Intern Ben in relation to Buffy letting Spike survive.
Yeah.
And it would have been a good point to bring that up there.
Yeah.
And I guess that just doesn't happen.
So Dawn, Giles, Buffy, they all walk away, and then it's just Spike and Faith. And Spike's like, don't worry about it. Everything's all tense now. And Giles tried to kill me last episode. It was for Buffy's own good, but like he was part of a plan to kill me. And there's some extra added tension in the house that's not just attributed to you. And I was like, how is this related at all?
It didn't seem like that was Giles' reaction. It just seemed like he was filling her in. And I do love that she goes, well, it's making me feel less good about you now.
Yeah. Dude, Faith is good.
This version of I've liked Faith that we've seen recently a lot more.
Yeah. Maybe like absence makes the heart grow fonder type of thing.
Yeah. They kind of weakened her a little bit one of the episodes that we saw her in a different show.
Yeah.
But this is good. She's good in this. Yeah. We'll see how it pans out.
So we then go over to Caleb, and he's drinking wine from a barrel, and he's lecturing about Jesus and wine and body and blood type stuff. And he's looking for answers and the Lord in all the wrong places. This is just a bunch of evil bullshit. Like I did. I tried to keep track of what he was saying, but it was just difficult because it's just looping nonsense.
It's looping nonsense. He did bring up an interesting little thing of like, what if someone asked for white wine at that, when Jesus turned, like he said, the wine is my blood and the bread is my body. But if it was just white wine there, what would he say the white wine was? That was like an interesting little thing to think about. But other than that,
it would have been Jesus's
No.
other bodily fluid.
I tried to save you, listeners. I tried to stop him. I forget what Caleb says. Caleb says something. I don't know if he says. I don't know.
But the first evil as Buffy is with him, and Buffy asks him if he likes her outfit, and he's like, "It's nice for a whore."
Yeah.
But she's like, "Look harder at me. Look harder. What do you see?" He's like, "I see strength and loneliness, though." "Oh shit, this means that you're the Slayer. I recognize you. You must be the Slayer." And then he tries to touch her, and he can't. He like goes through her because the first evil can't be corporeal form. And then it's revealed that Caleb is the one who blew up the Watchers Council. He's the one that's been organizing the Harbingers. And he says sticking all them splits, and I didn't know what that meant.
Killing all those women.
Okay.
I just know that from context. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is some terminology I haven't heard before.
I don't even want to dive deeper into what it could mean.
Yeah. Is that to like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, Caleb is like pumped, and he's like, "I can't wait to meet the real Buffy, and I'll see her soon."
Now, the first evil, and you've brought this up, I believe, the first evil can turn into Buffy. It does not use that to its advantage as much as you would think.
Dude,
you have a house full of potentials who are bound to follow Buffy blindly.
Mm-hmm.
Yet you don't show up as Buffy at that place. One, if you do it once and you get found out, they can never trust Buffy again. Every time they see Buffy, they have to touch her and be like, "Is this you? Is this you?
Yeah.
Is this you?" You can just sow so much discord in the house. You can just show up to one girl's room and be like, "Hey, I want you guys to go down in the basement, train." Go to another girl's room and be like, "Hey, I want you guys to go outside and do this." And everyone's just bumping around like, "What? Buffy told me to do this. Buffy told me to do this." And then you could just cause so much chaos.
Yeah, dude. They could even, you could fuck with Principal Wood. Like, dude.
It's just so much you could do. Instead, every time we see her, it's either she's talking to Spike or she's talking to... She hasn't even shown up to Principal Wood as that. And then, yeah, it's just like, what are you doing?
She could even still be fucking with Spike. We only have seen the first evil mess with Spike as Buffy when he's like going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, still show up to him. Fuck with him.
Yeah.
Fuck with Xander.
Yeah. Or just
go up to Xander. "Hey, I heard that one potential Slayer thought that you were cute," and then Xander gets all fucking slapped.
Or just start killing some random people that are close to him. And that aren't exactly potentials, that aren't guarded, and then just show up. Why have you not killed Giles yet?
Fuck with Willow, be like, "Yo, I need you to do this magic thing." And then get her to turn to Dark Willow again. Like, dude, the first evil is dumb.
It's dumb, yeah.
Like, I don't know how to feel. Like, I've been on the record saying, like, I don't think season 7 is that bad so far. But like there's so much potential for more chaos and evil, and it's just like not you. I'd be such a better first evil, dude.
Oh my god, yeah. Me and you would destroy the Slayers.
We would be so good as the first evil.
Blow up the house.
Yeah.
If you can blow up a building. A city building, you can blow up a suburban house.
Caleb blew up at a gigantic like institution with like Roman columns with hundreds of people in it, and you can't do the same thing to Buffy's house. If he doesn't want to do it to the house, get them all in school again, blow up the school.
I know it's all going according to plan.
Yeah. Yep. And the first evil has like plans for Spike later on, right? Why was it messing with Spike before? And like getting him to like eat people and kill people again?
I don't know. And now it doesn't have the trigger anymore. So it doesn't have the trigger and the seal to the Turrican's is closed.
Yeah. I mean, that thing can be reopened. But
I know,
all you got to
but-
do is fucking stand over it and go shamalaba ding dong, and then it's opened again.
Show them melting that blade down. That's all I want to see. That blade that they needed. Well, whatever.
Yeah, it's all going according to plan. So then we have, and I love this little callback.
Mhm.
We got Andrew narrating Faith's backstory, giving the potential slayers a backstory of like who Faith is and what she's done and why she was in jail and all this stuff. And then he makes up a scene about how she's fighting a Vulcan from Star Trek. And she's doing this scene where she's fighting a Vulcan in a cave. And the potentials are like, what are you fucking talking about? And Andrew's like, what? You said she fought a Vulcan. And they're like, you mean a volcanologist, like a professor that studies volcanoes? Andrew's all embarrassed because he's mixed that word up with like Vulcan from Star Trek.
I thought he was just throwing that in there for fun. I didn't realize
That's what I thought too.
It's funny how casual they're like, oh yeah, she just killed the guy that studies volcanoes.
Yeah. Amanda's like not worried about that at all. She's just like, you mean a volcanologist, you idiot.
Oh, the mayor was such a better threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a more interesting villain.
Yeah.
I don't know if his plan was better, but more fun to watch.
I mean, it definitely was scarier to see him with Faith as his like murderous henchman.
Yeah.
He definitely had like some stuff up his sleeves. And he was like fully
Yeah, Mr. Trick.
invincible. And yeah, Mr.
He
Trick.
was.
And he was fully invincible.
And for a little bit, didn't he have Angel? Oh no, that was a fake out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Andrew warns the potentials, do not take Faith lightly. She's a killer. She's a murderer. And then you see what Faith is doing, and she's like doing Tai Chi outside. It's like, oh man, she has been hanging out with Angel too much.
Yeah. My notes, because one of the potentials, the one from China, is like, there's a girl doing gymnastics outside in the backyard. Yeah. And my note was like, Faith doing quote unquote gymnastics in the backyard. Why? What is air punching? And I don't. Dude. And I love that they train in like sweats. Like they train in the fighting clothes. You know, they get dressed up in leather jackets for battle. But when they're training, they're in workout clothes.
Yeah, when she's in that backyard, she's got like a tank top and sweats on, and she's like doing the little like karate poses. Maybe it's something she picked up in prison.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. At the big house, everybody's doing Tai Chi, baby.
Yep.
Willow doesn't know much about the big house, but
she knows how to break into the local jail. Aren't all these people wanted? Isn't Willow a wanted person? Isn't Faith a wanted person? Isn't Andrew a wanted person?
I thought that like when Andrew warns them about how Faith is a killer, one of them was going to go like, yeah, so are you.
Yeah, like you guys are both wanted for murder, right?
Yeah, dude, I don't know how Faith is walking around just out in the open. Like, is this the like 1800s where like if you walk a mile away from the crime you committed, you're innocent?
It's a small town, but I think the turnover is big. I think all the people have died and come back. Like, no one that was alive during that crime spree is around, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That was like
4 years.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone died.
Maybe her breaking out of prison would send an alert, though.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's a fugitive on the loose.
Yeah.
Not a worry at all.
Nope.
About that.
Yeah.
Not a worry at all. Buffy doesn't hatch a plan like we gotta keep Faith out of public because, you know, she is wanted criminal. She did break out of prison. Nope. They're just like, nice to have you back. Here's the plan.
Buffy's harboring a fugitive, like two fugitives.
Mm-hmm.
I think Willow still has something out on her. They had it. I guess her hair's red now, so they can't tell it's her who destroyed the police station.
I think that we said that she put forget-me-nots under each cop's.
Yeah.
She broke into each of their houses and put a flower underneath their pillows.
Like a forget-me-tooth fairy.
Yeah. We did say something like that because she did like hurt a lot of cops. They had guns drawn on her outside the.
It's a one-star bike town. It's a one-star bike town. Everybody knows everybody.
Oh my god, dude. The logistics of this show are hilarious, and I love it.
And we're nitpicking it just because it's fun to do.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah. But so then we go to Principal Wood at his office, and he's all beaten up still, and Buffy comes in, and she's like, hey, man, you look better. And he's like, no, I don't. And Buffy's like, yeah, you're right. So we good?
Yo, this scene is ridiculous.
I know. I hated this scene.
I think the scene
much,
is
man.
on the level of the pillow fighting potentials.
Yeah. I absolutely hated this scene because Buffy's like, we're good, right? And Principal Wood's like, I don't know. And Buffy's like, well, I feel like we're on even ground now. But I still, just a reminder, don't have time for your vendetta. I get that you want to kill Spike, but I need him for the fight. But I also kind of want you in the fight because, like, you're a good warrior. And Principal Wood's like, yeah, we're good. You're fired. And Buffy's like, what? You're firing me? How could you fire me? What were you doing? He's like, dude, you've been just talking about how there's this war and you got to protect all these fucking potential slayers. There's nothing for you to do here. And I was like, bullshit, dude.
Well, he says people are leaving town and students aren't even showing up to school. And then I was just like, wait, is there a superintendent? Is there somebody he has to answer to? Because that's weird. Like, this is the first time people aren't showing up to school now. They showed up after the school was tagged.
Yep.
And everybody
after it was all on fire.
And a kid blew up.
Yeah.
Just
his guts splattered across the window.
And he fires Buffy. But I kept my note, keep Buffy on the payroll, though.
Yeah.
Tell her just not to come in. If Buffy was smart, she'd be collecting money from this job and money from Double Meat Palace to keep their secret.
She could have. I will never get over her not extorting Double Meat Palace.
Like, extort them. The company's doing a bad thing. Your life is shitty.
Extort Principal Wood here too.
Yeah.
If you don't keep me on the payroll, Spike's going to kill you, and I'll let him.
I think it'd be weird to fire me after we went on a date and it didn't work out. Remember the thing that you literally said before, and I did not sign any paperwork to state that wasn't the sexual harassment charge that he would have for that. Dude. Oh, so you asked out the very young lady that you hired that was unqualified, and then you asked her out on a date. It didn't work out, and then you fired her?
Seems pretty rock solid.
Pretty rock solid, yeah. And you're a black principal in Sunnydale?
You're the only black human in Sunnydale?
Rona's there.
Rona now?
Rona's there.
Rona?
There's some sprinkles. We've been popping up. There's a lot more diversity in Sunnydale these days, actually. Because we've seen Ashanti.
Yeah, we did see Ashanti.
Even though she was a demon, she chose her color.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that diversity if it's a demon?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
We can't. In Sunnydale, it's the demon and human are really the same. Like,
does it have a soul?
I can't debate that.
Anyway, but yeah, he's like, dude, fucking, you got much worse things to worry about than this school bullshit. And Buffy's like, yeah, but I'm worried. I don't want to have to lead the girls into war. And it's like, that's all you've been fucking talking about, dude.
Don't call up the initiative. Call up actual soldiers. Like, I don't know why these girls have to be the one to fight. They're trying to kill them. If someone's trying to blow up a city or kill a bunch of people, you don't have those people fight the thing that's attacking them. You bring in the soldiers, the army, to protect the people. Do that. They don't have to fight the fight.
Yeah.
I just get those soldiers that got the chip out of Spike's head and say, "Hey, we're gonna fight this evil," and they'll be like, "Sure, whatever."
Yeah, but Principal Wood convinces Buffy that she's got to test the girls with some live battle, and Buffy's like, "Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Can I come in at least part time?" Principal Wood's like, "You're fired again. You're fired twice. Remember, Buffy, It's the mission that matters. The mission, remember? My mom said that to me.
Now, I wasn't sure when he said this because he's making it seem like the firing is like to kind of help her out and be like, hey, focus on what you need to focus on. But then when he says the mission is what matters, it seems like he's actually like being vindictive, which I'm okay with if he wants to be, you know? It's just that adding of that line makes it seem like oh, you said this to me, I'm saying it back to you. Like that kind of...
I think once Buffy said it to him, like it hurt him a little bit, but then it also like kind of clicked in his head, like, all right, the mission's what matters.
Okay.
So he's on the side of the mission is what matters.
Okay. Then I double down on my keep her on the payroll because she's got a house full of potentials to feed.
No, he's going to make her go on unemployment.
Yeah. Jeez, dude. Just tell her don't come in.
Yeah. I'll cover for you.
Yeah. Is it 2 weeks? Is she getting 2 weeks? 2 weeks severance? A month severance pay in the school system? Whatever. They got Giles there. They got Moneybags Giles.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
fine.
Moneybags Giles. He must have sold his little BMW. Dude, you remember when the magic box was a thing? Jesus, that seems so long ago.
Yeah. That was last season. Yeah. They showed
Somebody was talking
they
about
were
how
in it at
there's
the
like,
beginning of this season. Yeah.
somebody in Discord was talking about how there's like a lot fewer sets this season, it seems like. I didn't realize that until they brought that up, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in Buffy's house.
And the school is lame. The school doesn't have that classic... I think... I forget what happened with why they didn't use they blew up that school so they could use the same school, but that school had that like staircase and that you could go. It just had a nice exterior look to it. This one, they don't really do anything outside. The college years, at least they had the college campus stuff.
And the initiative.
The initiative, yeah.
Frat houses.
Dorms. Different dorms. Xander's apartment. Construction sites. Yeah, I don't know. Everything in this house, we keep seeing like the front and backyards more, but I don't know. We've seen Buffy's house before. We've seen it. We've seen all the caves.
Yeah.
There's a winery now, though. So he's got a
apparently. Apparently, a winery and a chapel.
Yeah, winery, chapel. They're right next to the water.
So, let me go back to the Summers house. Speaking of the Summers house, Faith she can't take listening to these potentials jib jab away. She goes to the basement to get a moment to herself and smoke a cigarette. And Spike is down there, and he's all shirtless and sexy, like fucking Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park.
He is sitting down there in a way that doesn't make any sense for just chilling.
Yeah, he's sitting there shirtless with his leg up, like aiming towards Faith, like seductively.
And the blanket is just like perfectly placed over him.
He is wearing pants, though.
He is wearing pants, yes. Because he's not asleep. Because he's not asleep. He's not asleep. If he goes asleep, those pants are coming off.
Absolutely.
We saw that. We've confirmed he sleeps in the buff.
It's canon.
Yeah.
He sleeps fucking nude as the day he was fucking born.
Butt ass naked underneath that rug.
But he sees Faith and he's like, hey, you looking for a moment alone, or can I bum a cig and we can like chit chat together? And she's like, oh, okay, cool.
Why didn't he call the cigarette what he wanted to call it? What he would call it in his homeland?
Oh, a British term for a cigarette? Oh boy, Vance. Oh,
I just don't know why. I don't understand the lack of authenticity.
Yeah. Oh God. Canceled. Anyway, canceled before we can do Firefly. Anyway,
my wife's been watching Dairy Girls, and that's like Ireland, and they call them darts or something. And that, yeah, I just love how every place has a different name for them.
Yeah, punching darts.
Wait, was it darts? Where was it darts? Was it darts in that, or was it the boys? I don't know. Somewhere I was watching something. Yeah.
But Faith goes over. She's going to give him a cigarette because the C word isn't an issue for him. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about getting cancer. It just kind of makes my teeth yellow, though. That's why I brush and floss every single day.
I think Letterkenny is with darts. Maybe that's Canada. I don't know. Everyone has a name for it. Dart.
I've heard darts before, though, and it wasn't Canadian.
Yeah. Multiple places might have that.
Yeah. Anyway. So Faith goes over and they're smoking together and she sees the chains behind him and he's like, oh, this is more for protective purposes. It's not a sexy thing. And Faith's like, hey, man, I'm not going to yuck your yum. I had a guy, this old man, he used to fucking tie me up, dress me like a schoolgirl and hit me with a bullwhip. And Spike's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, Spike is like, well, why aren't you upstairs talking to the potentials? And she's like, I'm fucking sick of them. I'm tired of talking to them. I can't listen to their whining and their teenage girlness. And he's like, yeah, I feel that. And he's like, is this kind of like, are you happy to be out of jail? And Faith's like, I kind of like jail. You know, you get, three clean meals. Don't have to worry about dressing up. We got movie nights. There were worse things. And he's like, oh, what was the last movie you saw? And she goes, Glitter. I guess there can't really be much worse things. I was like, man, Mariah Carey catching a stray here.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I'm just going to relax and watch Buffy, my favorite. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only seen clips of Glitter. Not a good one. We're not watching that one for the Patreon. We're not watching Glitter.
What if 15 people say they'll sign up for it if we do?
If that's your number that you want to put on it. I would say 20
people. But then Spike is kind of like, why didn't you escape before, Faith? And she was like, look, man, I've been dangerous. I had some shit to work out in prison. And I fight for the good guys now. And then Spike's like, all right, cool. And then Faith is like, by the way, I need to get fucking laid, man. It's been a while. I might hit up that guy that chains me up as a schoolgirl with the bullwhip. And then Spike is kind of like, oh, really now? And then Faith kind of like cuddles up next to Spike. And then she's like, I said that we've met before. And Spike's like, yeah, I don't remember that though. And she's like, it's because I was wearing a different skin when we met. And Spike's like, oh, that body swap episode. Buffy told me that there was a body swap. I don't know when it all happened. But now I get it. And Faith was like, yeah, that was me driving around Buffy's body. So, that I get fucking down, dude. And Spike is like, boy, do ya. I kind of dug what you were putting down, too. And then Buffy comes in to cock block everybody.
I was thinking about that, and Faith slept with Riley that episode.
Yeah. Well, she did visit Spike and say, like, I'll ride you.
Yeah.
Till the cows come home or whatever she said.
Blew Spike's little mind, his little chip adult mind.
That's not something you forget.
Really? Like the stuff that you and Buffy done since then, I'd be like, nah, that.
Yeah, because he does tell Faith, like, Buffy does get down. We blew up a fucking building, fucking.
We've blown up more buildings than the first. Okay. So.
Yeah. Spike and Buffy having sex and the first evil have blown up the same amount of buildings.
Now, here's the thing with this episode.
You just blew my mind with that. I'm so sorry.
Here's the thing I just thought about with this episode. We open with the priest Caleb calling everyone dirty whores. Then we cut to Xander having a fantasy about these young women in the house. And then we get horny Faith showing up, who just wants to get laid. But there's no connection to Wet Dream Xander and horny Faith.
Yeah.
And Anya's not in the picture at all this episode.
Yeah. And she's been trying to give it up to anybody that looks her way this season.
So, and Faith has taken advantage of and slept with Xander.
Yeah.
So
sexually assaulted Xander.
Yes. And then later tried to kill him.
Raped Riley.
Yes, and raped. Yeah. That's a classic Revenge of the Nerd style raping of Riley.
Yeah, the quote unquote like David Copperfield type of thing.
Yeah, pretending. Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, you're hitting your girl doggy, and then you and your friends swap, and you go outside and wave to her out the window.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that and being like, "Wow, that would be so traumatizing."
Dude, all of those things are so fucking lame.
Yeah, and
the rusty pirate, or you come in her eye and you kick her shin. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's just
nobody's doing that, dude.
Awful. But why have the Xander fantasy to show that he's like horned up after he had slept with Anya? Because before he slept with Anya, he was like, "Man, I haven't had any in a long time," right?
Mm-hmm.
So then he has a fantasy after he slept with Anya. Even reference, "Oh, why did we have to get these chains last episode?" Referring to when he slept with Anya and the chains weren't still up. And like that was his like big line last episode. They don't interact. Him and Faith don't have a scene.
Yeah. And you know what? All this sex talk, I'm starting to think that Caleb might be right. All these people are whores, dude.
Well,
because it seems like Faith and Spike are about to have sex before Buffy comes in.
I wrote in my note they have great chemistry, but then I was like watching the scene go on. I was like, oh, it's not great chemistry. They're basically just flirting with each other from the beginning. Like the whole scene is like sexual tension.
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't start out as, but it does. Once they cut to him with shirtless with the sheet in his little bed, I thought he was chained up for a minute too when I first saw it. And yeah, it's just like got sexual, it's just dripping with sexuality.
Yeah.
And then Buffy shows up and she's like, "Oh, I'm so jealous again."
Dude, I think Buffy has had her arms crossed for every scene of this episode.
She is in mom mode so hard this episode.
Yeah. She comes down with her arms crossed and she's like, "Good to see you two catching up." Yeah. And they're like, work. "Bro, guys, I thought you were going to be at work." And Buffy's like, "I decided to lessen my hours because we got this important war going on."
Oh my gosh, Buffy, who cares if you got fired from that job?
Right?
Who are you pretending? Like,
yeah.
The guy you just told that to was almost killed and then almost killed your boss. I don't think he's worried about if you can hold down a job right now.
Yeah. But then Dawn comes in, she opens the door and she's like, "Willow's calling. She called from the hospital. That girl, Shannon, she's awake." And Buffy's like, "Guess I gotta go to the fucking hospital now."
You guys didn't send any protection? Oh, I guess Willow's still over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Willow didn't even want to stay there, which is so funny.
I know, right? She was like, "Can somebody else see? Where's Xander? What is he doing?" Xander just has a boner somewhere.
Meanwhile, Xander has a boner.
Man, we are ripping this episode apart, I feel like.
It's a fun episode. I like this episode.
I think it's a good episode.
This is one of my, probably not my favorite. I was like scrolling through. I was like, is this my favorite? It's not my favorite, but it's a top 5 episode right now.
I came into this, I was like, I don't know how Vance is going to like this episode because there's a lot of stuff that I feel like you would hate in this episode.
Oh, there's some stuff
and some stuff that you like.
Yeah. But that's more towards, it's more questions, you know?
Yeah.
There's a big one coming up.
Yeah. So we go to the hospital and Buffy and Willow are there and the girl, Shannon, she's talking about Father Caleb and she talked about how like he's the one that's been organizing the Harbingers and they were chasing her through the woods and he said that they were his boys. And she goes, and then he burned my neck. And then Willow's like, I gotta fucking get a picture for MySpace of that. Gotta get a pic of that.
She takes that camera out like so quickly.
Yeah. She took multiple pictures of it too with a flash. This girl's like just woke up from
that is classic. Surgery. That it probably just has auto flash. They're in the brightest hospital room ever. But that's so class. Also, when you see the brand, it just looks like a circle. It doesn't look like anything. I thought it was going to look like something.
I did too. I thought there was going to be some kind of mark that Willow's like, I'm going to research this mark, but it looked just like a burn, like it didn't.
And I kind of hate like what this will lead to, but I understand what they're doing, kind of.
But so then Shannon's like, and when he burned my neck, he whispered sweetly and gently into my ear something, a message for you, Buffy. And Buffy's like, what was the message? And Shannon goes, he said, I have something of yours. Dun, dun, dun. I thought that this was going to be something cooler.
I did too. Just right now, I think it just hit me. I think I know what he has.
Uh-oh, what do you think he has?
I'll bring it up at the end. A little tease for the next hour of this podcast.
Yeah, keep listening, everybody.
They're like,
fuck, I was going to turn it off here, but now I got to stick around for the other probably hour of this.
Yeah.
The way that we're going.
Yeah.
Man, this C4 is hitting us early, bro.
This one got me. This
I'm
watermelon.
jittery right now.
It's been a weird
podcast.
It's been a long
crazy.
It's been a long week for both of us separately outside of podcasting. So like I've been looking forward to doing this.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm all right to live in this space for a minute. And this episode's fun to talk about.
Yeah. So Buffy goes home and she gathers all the potentials and she's lecturing them about like Father Caleb. There's a new player in town. He works for the First Evil. He dresses like a priest. His name is Caleb. And you know what? I'm tired of talking and I'm tired of training. We're going to go to this guy and we're going to bring the fight to him. And you girls are going to come with me. And he said that he's got something of mine and we're all going to go and get it. And I was like, all right.
My first thought was, this is a trap.
Yep. That's everyone's first thought except for Buffy's.
Yeah.
Well, Buffy's even like, yeah, it's a trap, but I don't give a fuck.
This is my problem with season 7. Buffy seems to just do stuff impulsively. And she kind of always did that, but it wasn't as reckless and just, they're just not thinking. I don't know. I just don't know what they're trying to make. I don't know what they're trying to say about what she's doing.
Yeah.
Because we brought,
I mean,
I think this was
feel like
brought
we
up.
can talk about this a little bit more in like a later scene.
Yeah. But it's just that thing of like, do we feel like the First Evil and this war talk is the threat that they make it out to be based off what we've seen in the past 6 seasons? Nothing has a step besides Caleb in the first scene. Like, I'm like, oh, if he's been around this whole season, I'm like, oh shit. Like Glory was like slowly wearing her down and going after Dawn. And it was like, oh shit, your sister's in danger. You really need to act. I don't care. You have to go try to fight her. Buffy, you don't know how to beat her up. We don't know how to kill Gloria. I got to do something. All right, I get that.
Yeah.
Here it's like, I don't even know. Some guy stabbed a girl and said, I have something. So, all right, suit up, everybody. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, in season 5, Glory was around the whole season, basically. Mm-hmm. And she was fucking with Buffy. She was getting a couple different MacGuffins. She was summoning certain demons to fuck with Buffy. She had a bunch of different strategies, but we saw Glory the whole season. And this is kind of what I thought you would hate about this episode, is that the introduction of Caleb with like 4 episodes left as like a big bad type. It feels a little late. And we haven't seen Caleb until this episode. We've been seeing like the First Evil. And now it's like, oh, it feels like a retcon of like Caleb's been doing all this behind the scenes anyway.
It feels like Firefly just ended filming and now he's available.
It feels like the last Star Wars movie when it's like, oh, Palpatine has been behind. Oh, he created Snoke. Oh, he's been pulling the strings this whole time. It's like,
I understand. Like, I do have some issues with that, but I was just so relieved that there was somebody that was a threat that I actually felt like when I see them on screen, I'm scared. Not, hey, the First is here. They can't touch anything. Yeah.
And again, the First isn't even doing strategic fuckery.
No.
Oh my God, dude.
Behind the delivery trucks that keep your life stocked, thousands of employees at BP go to work every day. People bringing a new offshore production platform online. People making our refineries capable of more, like making renewable diesel from agricultural waste. People trading and shipping fuels to our customers. And people helping truckers fill up and get maintenance at our convenient locations. They're part of the more than 300,000 jobs BP supports across the country. Learn more at bp.com/investing in America.
But speaking of Caleb, we go back to the winery. Caleb's in the basement, and some really just pretty girl is down there, and she's meeting up with Caleb, and she's like, "I've been looking for you," and he's like, "I heard you're a whore," and you dress like a whore. He's just got like a wedding dress on.
Yeah, she's in all white, a literal angel.
Yeah, and he's like preaching about some bullshit, and he's like, "I know why you're here. You got urges because you're a dirty little whore and you're dirty." And they go into the shadows together, and he slices her stomach. And was this like a potential? You think is she? Oh no! She's not a potential. This is like a vision of one of his past victims, because after he slices her stomach, it turns into Buffy as the first evil, and she's like, "Oh, you like replaying the hits?" And he's like, "Yes, I do. Why don't you turn into that little choir girl that I killed back in the day?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, okay. You really like that one?" He's like, "Yeah, she was singing a tune when I stabbed her."
Yeah, it's like one before I even met the first evil. So he's just a straight up serial killer.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how serial killers have such riz. Like, it's such a waste.
Dude?
It's like too OP for them to be like, "I like murdering innocent women. I'm a guy, I'm stronger than them, and I have the charm that I can pull them." It's like, man, that is just a predator, perfect predator trap. Because he's got this charm. He's dressed as a priest and still like pulling chicks.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to like really be drawn to him
Yeah.
to like hear his message, and then he's like, "You're a whore," and he stabs him like that.
He likes gutting women. Just a straight up.
man.
He's just a straight up serial killer. And again, does he have a soul? Does he die? Like, regular people are scary. The show keeps showing regular people being scary now. Like it's The Walking Dead or something. It's like, it's not the zombies you have to worry about. But I want this to be the demons are the problem, not the people.
Well, this is like the classic case of Carnage from Spider-Man, because he was already a serial killer, and then they put the symbiote on him, and he's like even more crazy and scary.
Exactly, yeah. But it's just like, let's get more of those. Every guy in Sunnydale was like a rapist in the first couple seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Kind of makes you think, what's scarier, ghosts that aren't real or real life people?
Obviously, real life people that are talking to the ghost of the...
I remember when I was a little kid, I was watching The Twilight Zone, and my grandmother was like babysitting me, and I was scared of The Twilight Zone. I was too scared to like walk upstairs to go to the bathroom, and my grandmother tried to comfort me and be like, "Oh, don't be scared of all that ghost bullshit. Stuff that goes on in the real world is scarier than any of that." And I'm like, "Oh, geez, thanks. That's not comforting."
And that's when Joe started sleeping with a bat.
Yep.
Did you ever watch the Hitchcock Presents shorts?
No, I didn't.
You should
but
check
I
those
heard
out.
that they're just as good as like The Twilight Zone.
You should check those out. Yeah.
I probably would love those.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway. So then we go to a scene of Buffy talking to the Scoobs about how they need to arm the girls and they need to be battle tested. And Giles is like, "Buffy, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't think this is a good idea. The girls aren't tested." And Buffy's like, "Yeah, that's why we're testing them right now." And then all of the Scoobs are like, "Buffy, this isn't smart." And Buffy's like, "Don't worry, we'll only take the ones that have names and the ones that we've seen in a couple episodes before."
They literally say that.
The ones that have been around the longest, we'll take them. You know, like Rona, Kennedy, Molly. The Chinese Slayer has not been around for very long, and the Chinese Slayer goes on this mission, which I take issue with. And
I would say at least you need to be able to have the language to come along.
Yeah. Dude, the Chinese Slayer has no fucking idea. I don't think she even knows that she's a potential Slayer yet.
Yeah, right.
She thinks that Faith's doing gymnastics in the backyard.
The backyard that she's been doing training. She's been hi-ying in the backyard herself.
But yeah, so Willow, Buffy's like, don't worry, Willow, you can stay with the other potentials because you're my most powerful weapon and you need to protect them.
Okay, so she admits that Willow's her most powerful weapon. What is Spike?
Yep.
Okay.
So then Xander speaks up. Big Daddy Xander energy here. And he's like, Buffy, I know that you're on the outs with Giles right now and he's skeptical. He's always skeptical. But dude, this is a trap. This is very obviously a trap. And Giles, she's like, this, for the first time in my entire life, I'm going to agree with Xander. We are unprepared. We are rushing into this. You literally heard about this Caleb guy today, and you're just going to rush in. We don't know anything about this guy. We don't know anything at all about the situation. Xander's right. This is obviously a trap. And Buffy goes, hey, Giles, why don't you fucking stay here with some of the potentials, some of the girls who still need a teacher, unlike me. And I was just like, oh, dude. Yeah, on Discord, a lot of people have been like defending Buffy's like brash actions and like, yeah, I get it. She's at war. She's got to do something. I'm just like, I don't feel like the time is ticking. I don't feel the ticking clock of like, oh, the full moon's coming. We got to do this before Glory enacts her plan. Like there was a ticking clock on season 5. You know, I don't know why the first evil doesn't have a time frame of like, I got to kill the potentials before a certain amount of time. Yeah. So I don't understand why there's a rush besides, oh, we only have 4 episodes left. I don't know why Buffy literally is rushing into this. If they show up to this place and the guy has changed his clothes, she won't know who he is because she's never seen him. Yes. If he's just wearing a t-shirt and jeans, she'll be like, that's not the priest. That's what is this? Yeah, I'm with all the scoops of being like, yo, this is a little quick. There are better ways to make Buffy fail and to look bad than to make her make a stupid decision for no reason. Yeah. That's my thing. Like, she could be like, oh, it's just this priest, like I can go in. And she's like, I think I can take him or whatever, right? That makes sense. But not when everyone's like, hey, don't go. And she's like, Xander, you're coming. I know it's a trap, but you're definitely coming with me. Yeah. Yeah. But so then we see Buffy and Faith. They're walking through the woods and they're chit-chatting and they see some harbingers and Buffy's like, I'm tired of waiting around. And Faith is like, hey, man, I'm the most brash character in this series. You don't got to tell me twice. I want to hop into the battle too. And I want to work with the other potentials, even if they are fashion disasters. Okay. Don't try and step on my toes here, Faith. And then Buffy's like, so Faith, why are you back? Why are you here? And Faith's like, well, Willow said that you needed me. And Buffy's like, oh, interesting that Willow said that. She really said that? And Faith is like, yo, I'll leave if you want me to leave. You don't want me here? I'm fucking out of here. I'll go back to prison. It's better than hanging around with you, bro. But Buffy's like, no. Sorry. I'm happy that you're here. It's just weird, but I'm happy that you're here. And Willow said that you helped Angel. And Faye's like, yeah, of course I helped Angel. And also Angel says hi. And then Buffy's like, will we? Angel say hi? Well, how's Angel doing? And then Faye's like, don't worry about that. There, we found the chapel. Yeah, you do not want to know what's going on in Los Angeles. Yeah. You would be horrified to know what's going on the WB.
This was the scene where I was like, okay, Buffy's having a hard time getting over Faith helping, but Spike she's fine with. This was the scene where I was like, all right. I understand they have a past, they have a history, but I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, they see the chapel, and Buffy's like, all right, that's where all the bringers are going, the Harbringers. Now we know where they are. Let's suit up. Let's get all these defenseless, unpowered people to come with me.
Isn't it weird that they were just able to follow a mindless bringer to the place? Like it wasn't. Yeah. How did that happen? How did they know how to follow one? Wait, had that been an option that they've had this whole season? To follow the bringers to see where they go and live?
I don't think so, because Caleb wasn't there, so they were just kind of wandering aimlessly, maybe.
But I'm saying, like, their plan wasn't to go out at night and kill the bringer people? Like, limit, take down the... Like, they're just, like, randomly walking. They're like, look at that guy in front of us that can't hear us speaking full volume in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
At first I thought, they're following one and it's leading them there, but it seemed like I don't know. It's a weird setup for me.
Yeah. But I did love that Faith was like, bro, you want me to leave? I'm out of here. I don't want to fucking be here. I want to go back to the Angel series.
Do a cameo on Firefly or something.
But yeah, so we go to the Summers house, and Xander is arming all the potentials that are the important ones that are going to be going on the mission with them. And he's telling them like, hey, this is how you defeat vampires. Stake to the heart, chop their head off, or fire. Here's how you fight demons. You snap their necks. That's the surefire way to defeat demons. And the bringers, they're just regular people. You can basically hit them anywhere, it seems like. And Rona, what were you about to say?
I was about to say, why is Xander telling them how to do this for the first time, seemingly? I get it, I guess they have to say it to be like,
I think it's like the reminder.
But yeah.
Reminder, recruits.
But it almost seems like he's saying it for the first time to them, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll take it down now. Okay.
It like, does seem like that a little bit, yeah.
Like they're going to lose bad.
Yeah, I love the weapon that he gets. I forget who he gives. He's like a baseball bat with little bits of like stuff coming out, and then he just straight up gives Molly like a giant blade.
Well, Kennedy takes out this huge sword.
And yeah, she has like a broadsword.
Yeah, it's the like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII sword. and Amanda has like a mace,
yeah.
And I was like, oh man, get some better weapons, guys.
I also just like, why don't they have? They don't have repeated weapons at all. Yeah, everyone has their own unique weapon. Like there's not like 3 swords.
Yeah, someone get the gun.
Yeah, dude, right?
Yeah.
The bringers are just people, I think.
They can't be because Buffy doesn't kill people.
You're right. But we did see high school students go into the basement and then their eyes are gone.
Yeah, but once that happens, they're different. Like how vampires are people, former people. Yeah, sure. Okay, Buffy's a saint.
Yeah, I guess once you go blind, you're not a person anymore.
They do.
Caleb was doing all of that, by the way.
Yeah. Somehow Caleb was the one that got the people in the school to go into the basement to do that. But whatever.
He's the one he also says that he's the one that's been like blinding the bringers too.
Didn't blind the ones that were in the basement because he wasn't there. He was the pig. He was the pig.
He was the cat.
He's the cat.
Caleb's the cat.
Yes. That will save the whole season for me if Caleb proves to be the cat.
That would be hilarious.
But they do mention that, how do they walk around being blind? And it's like, is it like sonar or something? I don't know. And it's like, I've never been questioned how they were able to see and get around being blind. Not even a question. It's the same as Principal Wood's dad. Just not even a thought.
But so Rona takes her time to speak out against Xander. She's like, bro, this is fucking crazy. All of you are crazy. And Xander's like, what? Yeah, I mean, I guess we are a little crazy. And she's like, no, you're all crazy. And I think Buffy's crazy. She doesn't know what she's doing. I have no faith in her to fucking lead us into this battle. And Xander's like, what'd you come here for then? And she's like, I came here for protection. I didn't want to fight in a war. I came here to get protected by Buffy. That's what I thought I was coming here for. I don't want to fight. And then she says something like, Buffy doesn't care about how many of us she puts in danger and how many of us are killed. Like, she says it every single episode that some of us are probably going to die. She does not give a fuck. And then Xander takes this opportunity to give a little rah-rah speech about how much Buffy does care. I've been through countless battles with Buffy, and I've been through more battles with Buffy than you can imagine, and she always pulls through, and she's always awesome, and she cares so much about. And like halfway through his speech, Buffy comes in to hear it, and he's like, she cares more about you guys than you will ever know, and she wants all of you guys to survive and succeed, and she's doing all of this for you. And she's always stuck by my side, and I've always stuck by her, and she cares more about them. And Buffy's like, oh, that's nice, Xander. Or Faith says like, oh, I didn't know that you were so cool, Buffy. And Buffy's like, yeah, I guess I am. Anyway, let's all hit the road and get ready to die.
Yeah, this speech was so sappy, and the music swelling up underneath it, and then Andrew has a tear coming from his eye. It was every editing and filmmaking trick to make this scene seem more important and more poignant than it was.
Yeah, it goes to each of the potentials' faces as they go from doubt to inspiration.
Yeah, and I was like, this doesn't work for me. Like, I liked Xander's speech to Dawn at the end of that episode. Yeah. I was like, that is a good one. Like, that is him being the heart. That's him relating to being like a regular person in this fight. I'm all aboard with that. This one just felt so, I don't know, like they just wanted to give him an inspirational scene, but they also were like, I don't know if he's up for it. Like, his delivery's fine, but it's just, I don't know. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. This one felt a little more hollow. It felt very like halftime speech, like we're down 20, but you know what? We never give up.
Yeah. And then the music's swelling, and like I'm like, Andrew, you're crying right now. Like, the tear's funny, but like, is it supposed to be?
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's crying because somebody messes up Godzilla.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Godzilla. How bad can it be if Matthew Broderick beat Godzilla? That's Amanda. Xander, tell her, educate her about Godzilla.
That wasn't the real Godzilla.
That wasn't Godzilla. That was a thing that looks like Godzilla and claimed to be Godzilla. It's not the real Godzilla. Thank you, Xander.
Yeah.
So Buffy takes. I kept getting more and more surprised by like the developments in this scene. So Buffy goes and she's got the potentials with her.
The way
I was like, all right.
The way they're walking up to the vineyard is so weird.
Yeah. And I mean, like the framing of it too. I was just like, okay, so Buffy's here with the potentials. This is what she's been talking about all the time. Oh, Spike is there too. Oh, also Xander's there. Oh, also like, I was just like, wait a minute. What's going on?
Walk through the fire.
Yeah. So she takes them to the chapel / winery, and she's like, all right, let's game plan right outside the chapel.
Right.
All right.
Gosh. Did they all take a bus? Did they all take a bus there?
Dude. So Buffy's like, all right, I'm going to go in there with the potentials and Spike. The rest of you surround the chapel. And if you hear my signal.
Or the vineyard.
If you hear my signal, start rushing in. If things start to go bad, come rushing in and help us.
The winery. I don't know.
I have no idea. But they're like, all right, well, what's the signal? And Buffy's like, if you just start hearing me yelling.
All right, I'd be like, hey, can we just go back home? Because we obviously don't have a plan here.
Yeah.
Can we just get out of here? This is dumb. We've never seen this place before, so we don't know what surrounding it looked like. We don't know the entrances and exits. We don't know how many people are inside. We don't know what's inside.
Bro, we don't even know if Father Caleb is in there. If Father Caleb was smart, he would not be in there and blow this up. He's got bombs, dude. He's blown things up before.
It's so... Yeah. I mean, it's because they introduce it. I know they don't want to do it because it's too simple. It's never that glamorous. But they just blew up a whole Watcher council.
Yeah.
And that was unceremonious.
So we go inside, and Buffy's walking down the stairs. They go into the basement, and she's with Spike, Kennedy, Molly, Rona, and the Chinese potential slayer.
Yeah, I wish I knew her
Does she
name.
have a name?
She
I feel
does
bad.
have a name.
I feel bad.
I feel bad too. But I will say this. I don't know the name of one of the people later. So I'm one of the other potentials later. And I was like, I'm not even going to look up who that is.
Yeah. So they go down into this basement, and the Harbingers come in, and they start attacking them all, and a giant fight breaks out. Everybody like kind of has their own little separate fight. Kennedy starts getting fucking beat the shit out of. Like, she's getting worked.
Yeah.
Molly saves her at a certain point. Everyone's fighting their own little sect of Harbingers, and they're kind of winning. It's like
They're somehow holding their own.
Yeah.
How?
They've been training. Did you not see the push-ups and the maggot and the
If it's that easy,
the hayas in the backyard?
if it's that easy to train at Buffy's house to be able to beat these people, then what?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But then the big guns comes out. Father Caleb walks on out, and he's like, "Oh, all right. Y'all came here? I'm here to purify y'all." And Buffy and Spike see him, and they're looking at him all puzzled, like, they're like, "Who the fuck? What? So you must be this guy." And he's like, "Yep, I'm Father Caleb. Blessed are those who come in my presence," or whatever. And then Buffy just runs over to him, and he just punches the shit out of Buffy, flings her across the room. She flies into like a barrel of wine, and it just starts exploding everywhere. Spike goes to attack Father Caleb. Father Caleb throws him into another barrel.
Wait. Let's stop. After he punches Buffy across the room, there's a commercial break. That is the big, hey, we didn't know this guy was super strong. Okay? That's the thing. But before that, he talks to Buffy and he says something like, "Oh, yeah, I ruined one of my best knives on that girl in the hospital that he stabbed." And Buffy has this look on her face of like shock and disgust from hearing that, which to me, I was like, why is she reacting as if she didn't just go to the hospital to see the girl?
Yeah.
Like, he just told her he stabbed this girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're a monster."
Buffy already has all this information. The girl's like, "It's a priest. His name is Caleb. He stabbed me."
And you've seen the victim. You've seen how she looks. But he tells her that, so she has this look on her face like, "I can't, this is the most horrifying thing I've ever heard." I was like, a potential hung themselves in your house.
Yeah, and you were just like, get the knife, cut her down.
This guy's like, "I knifed a girl." She's like, "Oh my God."
I mean, Buffy and Spike are looking at him like horrified.
Yeah, and he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, as of right now, he just looks like a regular guy.
Yeah. Now, when he punches, I always love anybody getting punched across the room. Like Glory, when Glory first punched Buffy across the room, you're like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." Yeah. Now this is happening, and she gets punched across. It doesn't break the wine thing because that happens with Faith later. Because Buffy's not covered. Yeah, because Buffy's not covered in wine, but she's definitely down for the count.
Yeah,
she got fucking lit up.
Yeah, man. And you're right. That she doesn't break the casket, but Spike definitely breaks the casket.
And Faith breaks the the barrel. Yeah. But
before Faith comes into play,
it's versus a Spike turned vampire.
Yeah. Spike gets vamp face, which is or is not a power up. Who knows?
Yeah.
But Father Caleb just beats the shit out of him, throws him into a barrel. And then he starts to go down the line of working the potentials. Rona stands up to him, and he just straight up breaks her arm. And he's about to kill her. And then Xander fires an arrow at... Well, she goes to the ground, arm broken. A bringer is about to kill her with the knife. Xander shoots an arrow, and it stops the bringer from stabbing her.
Yeah, he gets him in the arm, yeah.
Yeah. So Faith and the other Scoobies are down there now. Caleb beats up Faith and just kicks her into a barrel.
That was amazing with the little side, the double, like the. You see it all the time, but like she's on the ground, he kicks her and she does that little spin in the air.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, man. And that barrel just like fucking explodes and there's wine flowing all over the place. Then he walks down the line and he just straight up breaks the Chinese Slayer's neck. So we don't really need to learn her name.
Was that the Chinese Slayer's neck he broke?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Wasn't sure if that was her. I didn't recognize, but maybe it was. I'm not sure if it was her.
Based on what she was wearing, I'm pretty sure it was her.
Okay.
And then Spike goes over to Buffy and Buffy's like, we gotta fucking get out of here. We gotta retreat. And then we see Amanda just getting worked. Father Caleb isn't even around her. She's just getting beat up by a bringer.
All of a sudden, all of the potentials who were handling their own are just no longer handling their own in the same exact fights.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. The tide has turned somehow. But
they got dispirited when they saw Father Caleb beating everybody up. They just saw random bodies flying across the room.
It was the opposite of the Thunderdome Turrican thing. It was
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Amanda's getting beat up. Then Father Caleb walks over to Molly and he's just like grabs her by the neck and then stabs her in the gut. And then Buffy's seeing this and she's like, no! And she runs over. She attacks Caleb again. Mm-hmm. Spike, she kind of like punches him across the room.
Okay, so one, I had forgotten the name of Molly. I knew like we had seen her and she's been talked to. I just like forgot which one that was, and she gets gutted. But then Buffy uppercuts, like she goes after the priest guy and knocks him over, knocks Caleb back. And then Spike goes over and says, we got to get out of here. And this was where I kind of lost it. I was like, no, keep hitting him. He's down. Both of you go over now and tag him. Go. You hit him. Yeah. This is a classic, I guess I'll run away or let the other people run away. It's like, this isn't like the Glory situation where it was a rescue mission to get Spike and you got Spike and you need to leave. This is a get rid of this guy. Buffy came in and said, hey, I'm not running anymore. She gets uppercut at once and she's like, we need to retreat. I was like, what are you doing? You talked up. Xander gave a speech. These girls said I didn't want to do it. Everyone said it was a trap. You showed up. You got punched once and you were like, bad decision. Time to leave. Yeah. I'd be so pissed. I'm like, no, Buffy, you finish this.
Yeah. But yeah, Spike grabs Buffy and he's like, we got to get out of here. And Buffy's like, agreed.
Yeah.
I thought this was just a regular priest. I didn't know this was like a super mega priest.
Oh, you did think the person that attacked the potential was...
I didn't know he was so steeped in the power of misogyny. We got to get out of here.
I got to crush his pack of balls. Where's his
ball of balls?
His ball pouch there.
Oh, man. So...
Wait, I just want to say, I love that the potential that got stabbed, Willow was like, yeah. Face was like, that doesn't look like much. And Willow, like, she fits the description of girl, young.
Yeah.
So I guess you should be a potential.
So then Xander goes, he picks Kennedy up. Kennedy got like the shit beat out of her. And he's like, come on, Kennedy, we got to get out of here. And then Father Caleb rushes over to Xander and he grabs Xander. And he goes, Xander, so you're the guy that sees everything, huh? And I was like, what? What?
When?
Yeah, I was like, what? Is that his what?
Wasn't he just told to be the heart of the group?
Yeah, I thought he was the heart.
Say he's the heart of the group and rip his heart out.
Yeah, I didn't know what he meant by you're the guy that sees everything, huh?
It's like, what?
It's like, did he have a vision? Like, he doesn't see shit.
Maybe it was the pillow, the fantasy of the pillow fighting.
Oh, yeah. He saw how big of whores the girls are.
Just all of this is just a perfect payoff of Xander's fantasies. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, so he goes, so you're the guy that sees everything, and Xander's just like...
Xander's more afraid than if he's been held up by, like, ugly demons. Like, he has been face-to-face with worse. Even... He
fucking headbutted that giant troll demon when he was fighting for Anya, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Olaf?
He went after Olaf straight up.
Yeah.
And even Razor, those, the biker gang people, he, like, stood up to them. But this one moment, he's like, they're afraid of priests. I don't know what it is, but they are...
He's shitting his pants.
Yeah. I
You're
was
the
like,
guy that sees everything, huh? I guess. So Xander like, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't even make a quippy joke line or here. Like, do it. I don't care.
Yeah. So Caleb was like, well, see this. And then he thumbs his eye, and Xander starts bleeding from the eye. I was like, yo, this is kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
And then he let Xander go.
Really thought he was dying right there. Really thought they were killing Xander right there.
And Xander just like kind of limps away. They grab Spike and Buffy grab Xander, and he's got a big bloody eye.
Well, they punch Caleb off of him again, and he goes sailing. And I'm like, keep hitting him.
Yeah.
Keep hitting him. This guy can come after you. I don't understand. Like, I don't
know why Caleb didn't thumb both of Xander's eyes, because his thumb is his other thumb.
Yeah.
Is right above his other eye.
And we saw him snap a potential's neck with one hand.
Dude.
Right?
I mean, it's typical, like, why doesn't he just, like, kill them all?
Yeah. I mean, the plot armor's there.
Yeah. But I swear to God, if Xander does not get a fucking eye patch, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. He better be getting an eye patch.
That Discord spoiler chat must be going wild.
Just because
you've been talking.
As soon as I brought up, I've been talking about eye patches since fucking Maggie Walsh.
Do you think Rona gets a hook hand because they can't fix her
arm? Oh my God, if she gets a hook hand, dude. I don't think Rona's getting a hook hand, but Xander is definitely getting an eye patch. Yeah. He has to get an eye patch, dude.
I wrote that in my notes. Joe is one step closer to getting an eye patch character.
If he doesn't get an eye patch, this is bullshit. I mean, I gotta say too, like
they definitely will.
The special effect of him thumbing his eye and the blood just streaming down.
Gross. I hate it. Yeah.
Straight up from a horror movie, dude.
Yeah. I really thought he was just gonna thumb both of his eyes and kill him. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna really destroy Xander in a really gruesome way, and that is going to traumatize Buffy.
Yeah,
but no, he survives.
He's the one who sees things. Shrug, I guess.
Hey, you had a whole season to have him see stuff.
Hey, I mean, I guess he has been seeing stuff.
I guess literally.
It does have eyesight.
Why does he know anything about Xander?
I mean, he
didn't even know who Buffy was technically until later.
They could have had him talk about, like, in his rah-rah speech about like seeing stuff. I don't know, man.
Maybe
like,
he said something.
You're the guy that sees. Maybe, but like him saying you're the guy that sees stuff, it felt so out of nowhere.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you felt the same way. I'm sure we'll find out. Like, actually,
yeah.
But yeah,
you can't believe you guys missed that. He saw something in season 2.
Whoa, see that?
Yeah. Don't you remember? When he was hanging with O'Toole, he saw that he was a vampire. He saw Walker Texas Ranger.
If you go back in the background, you'll see. Someone did point out in the background of that one episode with Spike with the trigger. There's a guy playing that song on a harmonica when he's out, and that's what turns him. Which is like a nice thing.
That's a good Easter egg.
That's a good Easter egg, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But I
can't wait for the Easter egg that Xander's seeing something.
The thing that's weird about that trigger is that, like, he has to hear that song specifically, but he actually has to hear that song in the real world. Like, it's not just like the first can like trigger in his brain. The first has to like make a person play the song or sing the song to him.
Well, the first evil sang the song.
Yeah, it has to like show up and sing the song.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a switch or anything.
Yeah. But yeah, so Xander is bleeding from the eye. Then we have like a sad montage of all of the Buffy's side in the hospital, and Buffy's looking at all of them, and she's looking at them like, "Oh, you're all weak, and I'm gonna bury you all next to Chloe and Annabelle."
That'd be amazing if she had the shovel.
We got Rona with her broken arm, Xander with the medical. He's got an eye patch.
It's not that you want a black one.
I want a black one.
And they're
I want a Nick Fury.
It's no way they're
oh
not
my
doing
god.
it.
He
Xander was Nick
looks.
Fury.
I was gonna say he kind of looks like the original, like David Hasselhoff-esque Nick Fury from the comics.
Yeah, because everyone probably thinks of, Samuel L. Jackson, everyone thinks of him as Nick Fury because of the Marvel comics, but he wasn't black in the
Nick
comics.
Fury was originally a white guy.
You know
I think he was like modeled after David Hasselhoff.
It's that shit where when Samuel L. Jackson showed up as Nick Fury, there wasn't like that internet backlash of him being race swap, but somehow a mermaid changes colors.
I think it's because that was like when Marvel was just starting, and it was like, this isn't going to make a difference anyway.
Well, the comic fandom wasn't
as toxic.
It's just like from comics to, like, I don't think the amount of people that knew Nick Fury versus the amount of people that knew that childhood was related to Ariel, a mermaid, versus, so it's like they could be another generation. They redo the Marvel movies, and then they make Nick Fury white, and there will be like a big backlash that he'll be white.
I will say, when I first saw Nick Fury in the Marvel movies, I was like, isn't Nick Fury normally white? And I like looked up and I was like, yeah, I guess whatever.
For me, I didn't know much about Nick Fury at all.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the thing is. Yeah.
He was in the 94 Spider-Man cartoon that was my shit.
I remember
he
watching
was a
that.
White guy.
I watched that, but I don't remember his character in it. But Hasselhoff is what they based the comic character face off of, right? Or no?
Well, I don't know if they, I might be misspeaking here, because I think David Hasselhoff played Nick Fury in a show or a movie before.
Yeah.
But Nick Fury in the comic book was around before David Hasselhoff was a big person, but he just kind of looked like him.
Got you. Yeah, he's definitely, he's definitely going to get an eye patch. But here's my thought. I thought if Willow doesn't fix his eye, then there's no point in being friends with Willow anymore.
Bro, that's such a good point.
Because I watched her somehow sit on her bed in Buffy's room and touch the earth and like somehow heal all of her skin that was flayed off of her.
Yeah.
If she can't get me my eye back, come on, man.
Yeah.
Pulling bullets out of Buffy. Give me my eye back.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Fix that broken arm. Just do your witch powers, man. I don't know.
But while they're all going through looking over the injuries of what's going on, Caleb's narrating some story over the top of it about women and how humans are dirty. And everybody's a whore. And everybody's dirty. And we need to purify them. And Buffy's looking dejected. And then my note says, Caleb thinks the first evil is the glory of God or something. And Buffy's walking the streets alone. That's kind of where we leave
Buffy
it.
walking the streets alone. I hate it. I thought it was like, you don't get to do that now. It's just Buffy's making dumb, rash decisions. And now at the end, she's like, oh my God, the thing I thought might happen happened.
Yeah.
All season, she's like, well, not all these girls are going to survive. Not all these girls are going to survive. 2 die. All right. A couple are injured.
Do we think that Molly is dead?
Yeah.
The one that got gutted?
Yeah. We're just...
I took it as she's dead.
Yeah.
But Shannon survived getting gutted. The girl from the first.
But he stabbed her and said, I'm giving you I want you to give this message.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he didn't give Molly a message. He didn't whisper sweet nothings in her ear.
He didn't whisper the most vague thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Molly's dead. Chinese Slayer's dead. Before we even know her name.
Yeah, I thought it was some other one, but maybe. I think we have to give a little, like, we gave a little lesson last time when Joyce was trying to get inside her house while Angel was outside. Well, Angelus was outside, and we're like, hey, don't try and invite the guy into your house that looks like he's going to be really molesting. If you're in that car with that guy, if you're that potential that's in the car with Caleb and he's got the door thing, it's tough, right? It's a tough situation, but you got to do something. Yeah. You gotta.
Well, she tried to grab the wheel,
and then he slapped her hand off.
Caleb
of it.
Shoved her back,
and then she just sat there quietly listening to him talk about how he was going to do horrible things to her. Yeah. Like, I don't know exactly the move, but try something.
I gotta say,
yeah,
I absolutely loved the stink eye that Rona gave Buffy in the hospital. I was looking at his fucking bitch. I knew she was crazy.
Now that is when the first shows up and be like, hey, you can survive this, but I'm going to do something different, right?
Yeah.
Fucking, the first showed up as Principal Wood mom and told him to kill Spike. And he hasn't told anyone that that's happened. And he's just like, he's not like, oh, we can use this plan against them. Like, at least Andrew was like, all right, I'll wire something. Like, it's dumb, but of course that's how his mind works. Come on, like, give Buffy a little something here in this office scene instead of like quoting back the mission. It's like stuff like that is why season 7 as a whole isn't working for me. Like, there's moments and scenes. I don't know. And I did tease something that I should bring up now.
Yes. What you think Caleb has of Buffy's, right?
Yes. And I figured, and I thought about that literally during the podcast around the time that I said I thought about it. Did you have any idea what you think he has of hers?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm going to be real with you.
Part of my issue was like, okay, we've seen Caleb. We know that he's working with the first. And then when he uppercuts Buffy across the room, I'm like, holy shit, he's fucking strong. When did that happen? How did he get powers, right? I was like, now we got to spend next episode with them doing the thing that they do after they get punched by someone. Like, all right, let's figure out why he's so strong. You know, the stuff they should have done before they attacked him, but whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're doing what is Glory? How is she so powerful? We can't find her in the book. Oh, we got to take a picture of that seal that he has on her neck. And it's like, oh, that's going to lead us down a rabbit hole, right?
Now that you're mentioning that he punched her across the room, I kind of have an idea of what he might have, but go on.
Yeah, I think say what you're gonna say because you might.
No, you say it. You say it.
You sure? I want to see if you got it. Mine. Okay,
you've been teasing this all episode.
Okay, I think he took the power from the Shadow Men that she didn't take.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
First male Slayer.
Yeah. Yeah. And it hit me during this episode. I was like, oh, when we were reading over that line of "I got something that belongs to you," and then he punches her, and I'm like, okay, he's strong, and the only power that we've seen this season that could be there is that.
Yeah.
And will that justify her not taking the power because it would have because it's not like he was corrupted before. He was killing before he took this power, so he was already bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't need to be strong too. Like, he's been killing people before this whole first evil thing. So I don't know. That whole then I wonder why then it's just, if that is the reason that he's strong, then it's like, why did they give it to him? And now it's just like the show hasn't been like all men bad. The show hasn't been, but it has been like, you know, a feminist view of things and like a switching of the genres and stuff. But like,
I'd say the show's more like patriarchy bad.
Yeah.
Not all men bad, but like patriarchal institutions that like put women down and exploit women bad.
Yeah. And I think if you make it that the Shadow Men somehow gave the power to the guy, that like, it doesn't seem like their thing.
Maybe he like forced them to do, but
yeah.
But how would he have gotten to the Shadow Men? Because didn't they need that shadow cast? Or
probably, he probably made like 3 of those.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably stole it from the Watchers Council before he blew it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I guess he took that power
Yeah, as soon as you started laying out why and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it hit me this episode. I did not think about it while I was watching this last night.
There's some things that I don't think too critically about this. And like, I just kind of accepted like, yeah, he's powerful, whatever. I don't know why.
I wasn't able to accept that he was powerful. And I was like, God, we're going to have to do a whole episode explaining why he's powerful.
Yeah.
And it's so late in the game.
That's why I was like, I think the Vance might not like this episode because you're introducing a new big bad.
But they need it to. They need it to.
Yeah.
They spent so much time on Spike and the chip and the trigger and all that stuff.
Yeah.
These potentials have taken up a lot of space too. And they're just fodder. They're just fodder though. That's what I don't get. I don't feel any connection to the potentials. I'm not concerned if one of them dies. Buffy's just throwing them in a mass grave. Like, just something about it, man. I feel like there's a way to make that work. I think they should have stuck with smaller group of potentials to begin with. It should have just been like 6.
The one that I do feel anything for is Rona now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and she didn't even get killed. Like, she just got her arm broken.
I thought,
but she was like, I don't want to fucking be here, dude. I came here because you're supposed to protect me.
Yeah, and that's their storytelling. Everybody that said it's a trap really got injured. Like, Xander took one, Rona, and these are lingering injuries too. Like, when you see them, she'll have a cast and sling, and he'll be eye patched up, hopefully.
Dude, if he's not eye patched,
he will be. They won't. They'll think that's so cool. There'll be so many comments on it. There'll be pirate jokes. Wait, he has worn an eye patch as a pirate for Halloween.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
He sees everything.
Is Caleb going to attack Anya and make her feet roller skates? He's going to chop off her feet. She's going to get roller skate feet.
Oh my God. Anya will have like so many comments on the one eye thing.
Yeah.
She'll reference Cyclops.
She'll say one-eyed monster or something like that, like a dick joke. Yeah.
I dated a Cyclops once. Yeah. We've watched too much Buffy.
Yeah, we absolutely have.
And we haven't even watched as much as the people listening to this.
I know. Yeah, we haven't rewatched. I'm going through my 5th rewatch. Sheesh. Anyway, got anything else to say about Dirty Girls, man?
No, yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. I do like the introduction of Nathan Fillion as a bad, just because we needed somebody that was a threat.
Caleb is such a good name, too, for like a bad priest.
Yeah.
That's such a good name. Good choice.
I've mentioned this on Discord, but if there's, like I was writing a script adaptation for this short novella called A Short Stay. A novella is short by general. Yeah. In general, don't need to add that.
I narrated one.
It's called A Short Stay in Hell, and it's really good, and it's like, it's funny but dark, and it's really great. A Short Stay in Hell. Check that out. It has some relations to this. It's not one of those.
Is it like on Amazon or anything?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. You can get it. Yeah, it's a quick read. It's really deals with like some religion stuff, some heaven and hell stuff, some interesting take on afterlife. It's a good story. It's a really cool story. It's short. I think you'll like it. If you like this episode, I think you'll like that. Yeah.
Well, all right. The next episode is titled Empty Places.
The school is empty. No one's going to the school anymore because Amanda's not showing up.
She's the glue that keeps the school together.
Empty places.
She hasn't been gone. Buffy told her not to go to school last episode or whatever.
Because she's her mom now. God. I want to say that the potentials leave Buffy's house because they don't believe in her anymore. But I don't think. But then they would just get killed like Annabelle. But empty places.
I think it's going to be something like it's going to be more of like a symbolic empty place. Like there's potentials that are missing and it's like, oh, their places are gone or whatever. Do you think we see Buffy bury Molly and the Chinese Slayer?
We got to go back to the winery. We got to get him.
Dude, this body count has been climbing
Mm-hmm.
for the good guys.
It's a weird thing about this season where Buffy seems to care about the potentials and not care about them.
Yeah, it's real mixed messaging.
And I know she's like saying it to do a tough facade of like, I'll bury you next to them. I don't care. You guys got to act tougher. And then she's like, oh no, we took them to battle and they died. Oh no. I'm like, but you knew that was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
You keep saying not all of us are going to survive. And then when that happens, you're like, oh shit.
I can't believe not all of us survived.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. I didn't love her walking down the street as if like, woe is me. It's like, you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Why are you leaving the potentials alone now too?
She should be apologizing up and down. Like, guys, I'm so sorry.
She should be sleeping in that hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like that? Was it Willow that was with Xander?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she is going to heal his eye. If he does not get an eye patch.
She should heal his eye.
She should.
It'd be funny if she healed it between the episodes.
Look, based on what we see Willow do
Mm-hmm.
in Angel, because Willow went to LA.
In this show.
She
show alone.
got Buffy back from that Shadow Men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she can do that.
And that's like post, hey, I'm back from therapy,
yeah.
Willow. Like, I get that she's like, oh, I don't know if I can do magic. And like, it's been real shaky for her.
Nah, she's
But
back.
then she does some
She's
absolutely insane magic in the show. And then even in like the episode of Angel.
Yeah. She's back. But then they might do the whole, well, she couldn't help Joyce because of the tumor in her brain thing.
Oh, like this is natural. Xander getting his eye poked out. It's natural.
Yeah.
From a guy that has like Slayer power.
Yeah.
That's natural.
Yeah. And it was natural when a demon was eating my flesh, but I'm going to fix that.
Yeah.
Because I got to wear a midriff at some point in this show.
I'm going to meditate
hard.
The flesh that Gnarl was eating off of my body.
Oh, when I was at the hippie witch coven and they told me that everything on the earth is all connected and I could take power from the ground. That will never come back in this season, will it? Will it? Will it?
Will no.
Yeah, I don't have a great prediction for this. I'm just gonna say the potential start leaving the house. Yeah,
they're kind of fed up with Buffy's bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to our episode on Dirty Girls. Sign up for our Discord. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Coroner. If you want to get a shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating or review, Spotify 5-star rating, take a screenshot of it, send it in to us. We'll shout you out. Amazon wishlist. We got merch. It exists. Instagram @Boys Watching Buffy. Email boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. And stay tuned next time for when we talk about empty places.
You okay?
Yeah, terrific.
You protecting vampires? Are you the bad Slayer now? Am I the good Slayer now?
He's with me. He has a soul.
Oh, he's like Angel?
No,
Sort of.
I'm nothing like Angel.
Seltzer Kings
podcasts.